Welcome, everybody, to a brand new year of the Collector Series on WTCtv, where we focus on the guys and gals in this hobby that are the movers and shakers that make a big difference. Now, Tony, you would have thought that by now, a dude known as the wrestling card guy we would have had on before.
One
Um,
would think.
One would think, but here we are for the first time, mano a mano with Aaron Annunziata, the wrestling card guide. We've had Aaron on before when we did the Brotherhood group, and we communicate with Aaron on a regular basis, and he's become one of the sort of go-to guys in our hobby for everything. So, it's always nice when we do the collector series, to focus on a guy that has a niche. But Aaron is like us. He covers it all. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about WWE. We're going to talk about AEW. Most importantly, we're going to be talking about independent wrestling cards and the Indie Brotherhood, of which the three of us are members of. Then we're going to get into a few current sort of events, and then we're out. So, Aaron, thank you. Welcome. I'm glad to have
Thank
you
you,
here
sir.
for the first time. Just give our viewers a quick background into your history with the hobby and wrestling in particular.
Sure, sure. I started getting serious with wrestling card collecting the beginning of the pandemic, like many people, and I discovered high spots and the all-in set, GCW cards, indie cards as a whole, and that's what really sucked me into collecting at first.
And had
Boy,
you,
that's a quick one. I just got sucked in and there you go.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You
yeah,
know, I grew up with wrestling
that's
as
what I
a
was going to ask.
child, and I did casually collect packs here and there. You know, I had the WCW Impel set, not maybe not the whole thing, but I did have some action-packed cards and classic. But I didn't understand collecting at that age. I had peeled stickers, glued cards into notebooks, and things of that nature. And yeah, I didn't really take care of them, to say the least. But when I got back into watching wrestling, roughly after 2018's All In, uh, that's really what got my need for wrestling merchandise and things like that started. And wrestling cards were perfect.
Well, you say got back in. So were you a wrestling card fan at some point when you were younger, and then you sort of drifted away and then came back?
Yeah, I did casually have classic, the Impel set with WCW, and a few packs of the embossed cards, the 1994 action pack set. But again, I wasn't going for full sets. I was a child, just kind of, ooh, I got, picture of Macho Man, things like that. So yeah, it wasn't until I got back into wrestling after. I'd say probably about a 15-year hiatus with the All In event. That's what really cemented my desire to collect wrestling cards again.
Nice.
So let's maybe start with indie, because that's
Mm,
where we sort of know each other best. The Indie Brotherhood was created by Chris and Michael Neubauer. It was just a thread. It was just a conversation amongst like-minded guys, Caleb and Delacus and me and Tony and Chuck and you and Armand and these guys. And it has become a thing. Like we've become sort of a force where a lot of the independent manufacturers are aware of us as a group. They communicate with us. They know that guys like Pete Lynch, they are very active on the indie scene. Um,
absolutely.
how'd you get into that? What moved you into that world?
Well, I think, well, one of the earliest people I started communicating with was you, Tony, and Zen. And, but one of the early people who was getting into indie at the same time was Caleb. So I had a lot of great conversations with him. And I'm not sure exactly how I got into the fold, but I do believe it was something around that, our shared interest of indie collecting. We're always asking each other for information, and yeah, once we got into that group chat, it really really cemented that niche of collecting indie specifically, and it's been a blast. I've adored collecting alongside you guys.
Yeah,
Very positive experience.
there's no greater group out there, I think that, well, that I know that's going to be as knowing about what's going on in the indie scene, what's going on just the wrestling card front as a whole, than that Brotherhood group. Just everybody in that group is so willing to help each other with information, tracking things down, helping each other's collections, filling in the holes where people are missing certain cards. I mean, you got some guys that just, I got the set, but I don't care about the rest of it. I just want this card, and you guys can. Who needs this? Such a helpful group.
Absolutely. Certain people I specifically collect, when a set comes out, maybe I can't afford to buy the whole thing, I'll reach out to one of you guys like, oh, you got an extra Effie or you got an extra this person. And, likewise, I know Caleb sometimes reaches out for alley catch cards. And, I love that we all get to help each other out with these things. If we have extra sets of some old indie set, we always bring it to each other and, hey, any interest? And, so I love that kind of brotherhood is fun within the hobby.
Now, I know that it's not just wrestling isn't your only thing that you collect as well, and dig deep into. You collect a bunch of other stuff like that. Do you still actively collect other things as well as much as you collect wrestling cards? Are you after anything sports related, non-sports stuff? I think you do music stuff too, don't you?
Yeah, actually, I'm all over the place. I've been lifelong afflicted with the collector's bug. So, the most active thing I focus on these days is wrestling and wrestling cards specifically. But I've had periods where collecting records was very important to me, both just from listening to them for face value, but also I used to dabble in beat production and hip hop, and so I used to love digging for strange old records just to throw it on and see if there's interesting samples I could pull out of it, and also retro video game collecting was a big thing that both I share with my longtime girlfriend Veronica. So that's an area of collecting that we come together on, and that's a lot of fun to do together. And even she has her own interests in collecting. She has a big fashion doll collection and things of that nature. So it's a little chaotic. I recently moved to Maine, and getting all of our stuff up here from New York was a bit of a challenge, but it's a blast to collect and share those interests with people.
It is
Sweet.
cool to have a partner that appreciates the hobby and collecting because my wife just sees it as a wall that's being monopolized by a lot of cards and
Well, in
Sure,
your case,
sure.
Paul, it's not so much the appreciation of it. I think it's the tolerating.
yeah, oh yeah,
Tolerating.
that's what it is.
Absolutely. She loves wrestling too. She kind of enjoys GCW. That we like to share that together. And while she doesn't understand the wrestling card collecting end of collecting, she understands collecting as a whole. So
And
it is very,
she goes with you to shows.
oh yes, yeah. We've gotten to see a host of GCW shows since 2022, and we were even lucky that after moving to Maine, they had shortly after announced their first show in Maine, so we got to attend that a few months ago and meet Ricky Morton and see Effie again and a few people. So yeah, it's great to be able to share that with her.
Well, I think all of us in the Brotherhood, it's not just the cards, but we go to these events because we often post that there's this event happening here. And because we're all over the continent, we've got it all covered. And at any given time, any one of us might be saying, hey, I'm going to see this event tonight. Tony's tied into the Arizona market. I do stuff up
Mhm.
here in Toronto. And a lot of times, I've learned about who Effie is a perfect example. I only know who he was because Caleb was a big fan of his, and I'd seen him turn up a few times on the Brotherhood and Speedball Bailey and a few of these other cats that have come up here as well. I've learned through you guys, right? So
Mhm.
for me, it's not just the card collecting aspect of it, but it's just sort of staying tied into independent wrestling in general. And I don't know if there is such a thing. Tony, you might know. Is there a group that focuses specifically on indie wrestling and kind of reports on it and covers it at a wide level like we do?
I
because
mean,
we started off as cards,
and as
right?
far as like, well, just in general, as the sport itself, or in the collectible, what you're
No,
asking,
no, just in general, not
just
the
in
card
general.
end of
Well,
it. We've got
and
the card end of it covered, but is there anywhere else that you could go? Like are there YouTube shows about independent wrestling on a macro level across the
I
country?
mean, for years when 'cause, I'm not from Arizona, I'm from Southern California, so I went to all the PWG shows. I used to go to those every month, every other month. Battle of
Right.
LA, All Star Weekend. I would do all those. Um, And we had a thing there called SoCal Uncensored, or I think it was called SoCal Uncensored, and it reported all the local independent stuff that was going on from like San Diego to like Ventura County, and everything in between. So we'd had, PWG, we'd have SoCal Pro, we'd have Vendetta Pro, we'd have AWS, we'd have all these different promotions that it would cover all of that stuff and who was coming in from other states, who wrestled for us, and then would leave. And so I got to imagine there's probably a lot of that going on everywhere. And today with social media, these were just message boards. This
Right.
was a website with
Do
message boards.
you think there's a
Now,
national thing that covers it all? Like we cover it all insofar as card releases and collectibles.
good question. I wonder if there's a place that covers all the entire. I mean, the independent world is, as you guys, you and Aaron know, it's just massive. Like,
Sure.
I have never been one to subscribe to the notion that in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, Vince killed the territories. I still believe that territories still exist to this day. I think the indie scene are the territories. We have, you're going to have your Greek town stuff. I'm going to have my whole, territories over here, PCW and whatnot. You've got everything up there with Limitless now. It's like that. I mean, there's everything that's going around, and some of these companies travel everywhere. GCW travels everywhere.
Right.
I just, I think the territory still exists. I just think it's a different market in the sense that we have some of these people who maybe are founded in certain cities and certain states are now testing things the last several years of going to different markets. GCW goes everywhere now. Um, but then you still have places like here. I have Phoenix Championship Wrestling. They don't leave this area. They don't travel around anywhere outside of this Phoenix, Mesa, Tempe type area. So I think it's everywhere. So I would imagine it'd be very difficult for a particular place to go and house information about every damn independent place out there. I got to imagine there's Facebook groups out there that kind of,
That's what
oh,
I was thinking of as probably exist as a Facebook group or something of that nature. And also, there's a lot of podcasts. There's definitely casually I've seen there's podcasts with smaller audiences that follow specific indies and things. So
do you find,
it
Aaron,
exists out there. But
do
as far
you
as
guys,
cards, it might be just us. You
Yeah,
know.
I'm pretty sure it's
Aaron,
just us for cards.
do you guys in the Brotherhood group, because I'm not in it as much as I was, I got so much stuff going on. Do you guys find information from some of these Facebook groups like that? Do you go to these certain groups that are for certain promotions, and you find that's how you discover some of these new card sets that are coming out?
Absolutely. Sometimes that is the way, I'll just casually see, there's a new PPW set that they announced, and then I go to their website and take a look, but most of the time, I my information really does come from Twitter and accounts on there, whether it be directly like a PPW or GCW or one of these indie companies or directly from one of you guys sharing that
I was just
information
going to say, you
or
know where my information on Indy cards comes from? Armand.
sure, sure.
That guy's got a pipeline to stuff, new releases like no one I've ever seen. I don't know what his secret is or if he's sort of at one with the in the universe, but he seems to know well before the rest of us when something's going on. And he's sort of archived and brought to light so many indie sets. And it's not just Armand, but he seems to be, in my mind, sort of our titular leader, if you will,
Mhm.
for finding out this stuff. And he's on it, boy. Like there is very little that comes out that he doesn't catch. And Chuck and Tony and I, we try to do the same thing on mass, right? With everything that comes out, we try and get it all onto WTC, onto
Which is
price
quite a
guides.
task.
It is, but it's fun and we enjoy it.
Oh, of course,
But
absolutely.
kudos to Armand, and you might be wondering, okay, well, it took us long enough to get the wrestling card guy on here. Why has there never been a wrestling trading cards Armand show? And that's
I'd
because
like to see it.
None of us has ever Nick's seen him, but we've never met him face to face. We don't know
That's
what he
because
looks like.
Armand is the only guy I believe in this hobby that lives the gimmick.
Yeah, he does. Well,
He
I'd
is
walk
from
by
Park.
I'd walk by him on the street and not know it.
Yeah,
Sure, sure.
he's that dude that is from parts unknown, and
Well, he is. I mean, I know he works in a record store somewhere near Rochester. So one day I'm going to get my ass down to that general area and I'm going to find him. Now, Nick has
Check
met him
out
before.
every independent record
Well,
store in the area.
first time I met Nick, he had a picture of him and Armand was covering his face. I'm like,
yep.
so that's indie. Aaron, your handle on Twitter is AEW Card Guy. So obviously you have an affinity for the AEW product. And we did our last collector series last year with Carlos, which I found was a great show to sort of give a bit of counterpoint to the day-to-day WWE stuff. What's your affiliation with AEW and your connection there?
Well, actually, far less than it used to be. Um, I really, after All In, I really focused heavily on the talent that was getting brought into AEW, and I really did have a very, very strong passion for those first few years. But my viewership for it has dwindled in recent times, and despite adoring a lot of the talent, I believe it's just the ebb and flow of wrestling. Some things have highs and lows, and at the moment, I have been ignoring it a little bit, but. That set, when it first came out, was incredible. The excitement that it built in the hobby and participating in that was fantastic. And I'd say probably by about the 2023 set, I started scaling back specifically AEW, but I still adore a lot of the talent there, but I'm not up on their sets as much as I used to be, which is one of the reasons why a little early on I did kind of switch my handle over to Wrestling Card Guy as a whole because, a lot of the times it has to do with the specific talents or even GCW is one of my top promotions. So, wrestling as a whole, wrestling cards is my focus of late, but those early years collecting AW talent through IndyCard specifically was incredibly exciting. You know, uh, the AAW sets, Limitless, of course, all the GCW sets. It was really exciting to collect those and hunt those down.
Yep.
What about WWE? Are you a regular viewer of the WWE product?
That I have been watching more in recent times. Again, with the ebb and flow of wrestling, last couple months, and also with the move to Maine, my attention to wrestling has gone down a little bit. But um,
Why?
WWE, I still follow.
Why is Maine such a black hole with wrestling? What are you talking about?
Oh, just the attention and
Okay.
focus. I'd
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
you know, one of the things, I took a little lower paying job just to start covering the bills and things like that, and a lot of time towards that job. I recently did get new employment. I'll be starting that shortly, but
Congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate that. And thankfully, with that, it eases some financial stressors. So thankfully, I feel like I'll be able to dip my toe back into the hobby a little harder in 2026 versus 2025. But yeah, that's one of the things that definitely took my attention away a little bit is, the cost of things. A lot of sets have gone up in price compared to previous years. So,
What are your thoughts on that? Like somebody who is a fan of like all facets of wrestling and then collecting as well, like what are your thoughts on the direction of the hobby itself in the last couple of years now and seeing box prices, pack prices, individual card prices for things versus the indie market. Even the indie market itself is going up in price. People are charging
sure.
an arm and a leg for 40, 45, maybe even $50 sometimes for like 12, 20 cards,
That's very true.
where are you at on that? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, basically, I really believe there should be a product for every type of person. Um, and right now, there really isn't something for the lower end, on the whole, anyway. You look at something, I have to say, um I was very surprised and intrigued by the Panini Combat anthology set, because that is a product that's right around the 120, 130 range for hobby box. And I do feel like that price point is more affordable, and it is amazing to see some of the wrestling talent in that set.
Well, I mean,
And
120, $25, comparatively speaking to something that's 400, 500, $600, it would be cheaper. It's like that. But
that's
the last cheap product that came out for more modern stuff in this Panini slash Tops era for me, I think was the NXT 2.0 set that came out. I mean,
yeah.
those hobby boxes were, $50, $60.
Mhm.
You can get them real cheap wise. So I agree with you. I think there should be a price point of like maybe at least one set a year or at least a year. It's more, not so much kid friendly in the sense of price point, but just more something that's just, you know what? Nothing really high end, great in here, but something for collectability and fun. Here's a $55, $60 box of something that maybe has a hit or two in it kind of thing, that's where that's where I think of. So
Well,
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, not to interrupt, but without an entry point, you're just going to have people like us collecting. You know what I mean? Like,
not for kids.
uh, exactly. Whereas a 13, 14, 15-year old, where is their real entry point?
yeah.
You don't, you're not quite at the age where you're working yet, and a lot of your income comes from your parents, and the way things are these days, I don't think people are giving $400 to their kids all the time to get hobby
No, but I mean,
boxes.
even
So
younger than that. I mean, I think it's also equal to where the product as a whole, as wrestling as a whole, has directed. I mean, people are complaining about this whole TKO thing and price gouging and the price points. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, like, the Royal Rumble is going to be, for in Saudi Arabia, and what the price point is for that. The price
it's
point for that,
unbelievable.
$21.
Mhm.
$21 for a ticket, 400
Oh,
for
is it?
ringside.
Oh, wow. I haven't even heard the
Really?
reporting on that yet. So they're
So
pricing it for the market, but
they're
yeah,
pricing for the market there, but for here we got to pay, $400 get you the cheap seats.
Yeah.
that's
I
bonkers.
used to think that
It is a shame,
Vince was big
again.
on that family pricing, not
Yeah,
Yes,
just what
so
you want,
exactly.
but he was always very mindful of making sure that people could afford to go and you could bring your whole family to a night of wrestling.
and I think
Sure.
that's sort of equated itself now into the actual hobby itself too, where it's a point now where it's like, well, we don't have a lot of kid-friendly stuff anymore. We don't care about that. We want the higher income bracket type people out there to be able to afford our products like that. And that might be sustainable for now, but just like the product
Exactly.
itself is, as those kids get older, they did not get to experience those things live because they could not afford to go to those things live. Now, where are they going to be at when the other people have already gone and passed? And that money's gone. So it sounds
Sure.
like a cash grab for me now. I feel like, in a sense, that the manufacturers of trading cards are going that direction as well.
But what do you think,
Mhm.
Tony? Is it sustainable? Like to your earlier point, I
No, I
feel like
don't.
these less expensive sets, they're outliers now. If we get one a year, that's a good thing. Like consider this new Bape, this cross-promotional thing with this
Yeah,
per brand. The price is insane. The
it
price,
is.
the cars, all of it. It doesn't make sense to me. There's just not value there, for what you're getting relative to what we've seen in the
Well,
past.
there's not value there when you divide the numbers up as far as what you're getting per pack and per box kind
Yeah.
of things like that. But the value is there because the market is dictating these prices are going for high prices. So there is value there depending on how you're looking at it.
Oh,
But
sure.
if
It's
somebody's
what the
getting
market
into
bears
it,
for
it's
anything.
not very valuable for me.
Yeah, like what do you think, Aaron? Do you think that these prices that we're seeing now, is this is how it goes from here on in? That we're never going to
Well,
see a return
the
to
thing
more
is
affordable
I
product?
don't think a lot of these products will maintain higher values for a long time. I feel like everybody's just buying an entry ticket to that one of one,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that
Right.
price is getting divided up between everybody who's not getting one. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a shame. I feel like it does. If you don't feel like the things you want to get out of the hobby are attainable, then where's your motivation to continue? And so yeah, both that, they need to be thinking about keeping all of their tiers of customers happy. And I do think putting a return on the youth, the kids and teenagers, get them interested in collecting trading cards. It's not just some alternative investment or something like that. It's supposed to be fun for kids too. What happened
But
to
I think
flagship products?
on the flip side of that though too is, Paul and I have seen this firsthand. We've gone to the National now for what, 4 straight years, whatever it's like that. And not one show have we've gone to have we not seen, not once, not twice, but multiple times, some kid who's probably 8, 9, 10 years old carrying around a damn locked briefcase, just whipping out $100 bills like it's no big deal, so like that. And so those kids do exist. But
Well,
I
I
it's a
think
believe
still
it,
it's still
yeah, and that
passive.
is a great point.
but I think by
And
and large, you want the majority of people to get in more into your product. So maybe some of these manufacturers, if anybody even damn listens to this damn show, get out there and, maybe it's not a bad idea to just once a year, throw something out. It's not like, oh, we got little pop-up cards and stickers and stuff like that and little puzzles. No, make a trading card set out there of these stars so that I'm a Jey Uso fan or I'm a Liv Morgan fan, but I don't want to spend, $500 for a damn numbered, card of Liv Morgan. I just want a regular card that I could get in a box that maybe costs 50, 60, $70,
I
But
agree. I think it should be more than once a year, you know.
oh yeah,
just once a year, just let's try it
Not
out.
that's
just once a year. I
that's
think
a
it should
good
be. I
minimum,
think
I'd
it should
say.
be more
Yeah.
often.
But I understand on the flip side too. You start talking the business side of it, where I have to get some return on my investments like that, and I'm paying 15, $20 million for a license over multiple years like that. How do I divide that up per and every annual release dates? I gotta put out product and charge this kind of money. It's like that. I get it, but I think somewhere in there you could probably throw a nugget out there of like, here's some cool cards for the younger demographic.
I'm not so sure, Tony. I mean, Fanatics, they're not hurting.
No,
Uh,
they're not hurting.
the
They're
Endeavor
not
Group
hurting now. No, they're not hurting now
is not
because
hurting. These guys, I don't like to use the word gouging because it's what the market bears. And if someone's going to pay it, fine. But some of these numbers that are people are paying to go to live events that we see within our hobby, it's egregious in my mind. It doesn't equate to other things in the world that makes sense. But anyways, we could talk about
Here's
this
the
for
thing
hours.
though, Paul. Here's the thing. If people didn't like it, people wouldn't pay for it, and these things would be
Precisely.
houses, and people are paying it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like StubHub. It's like going to tickets now. You see you
Sure.
see you see the fuss of people wanting to go to live events and it costs thousands of dollars. Like AC/DC up here in Toronto, the cheapest seat in the nosebleeds was $140 and people were paying 5 grand for the floors. And I'm like, what the, you know, Taylor Swift and the Rush reunion and all this stuff that's going on. And I looked at the Raw in January, Steve, and I said, oh, let's treat ourselves to a Raw. It's been quite some time since we've gone. And then we looked at the prices and I said, yeah, this is why it's been quite some time since we've gone, you know? Anyways, it's not meant to be a bitch session about things being too expensive, but things are
No,
turning.
Of course.
I just thought I'd pose a question to Aaron too about as someone who collects across everything, where he thought and
Yeah.
saw the market was going, and I mean, let's just turn it a little bit before we, obviously we got to wrap up it. How has it changed your way of collecting? I mean, have you altered and changed lanes? Were you someone who liked to buy a box and collect a whole base set, but now you're kind of just navigating through like, I just have favorites now I want to collect. I want to collect, like me, I'm a Loomis guy. I just want to collect Loomis stuff. So I don't collect sets anymore, just Loomis. And I changed, and I still have fun. I'm having more fun now than I ever have.
Because you're not spending
I
as much.
actually, yeah, my collecting habits have changed quite a bit. A lot of the things I was going for early were full sets, and now I have greater focus. My specific favorites. Whether it be Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder cards, or GCW specifically. I have definitely narrowed down my purchasing habits. I've switched over to purchasing singles way more than anything. I've only bought one new product in 2025, and that was one mega box of Topps Chrome at retail price. And I just don't, especially this year, I didn't have the money to participate in new products, unfortunately. So thankfully, at the end of the year, I did treat myself to some sealed 2022 product I found for a good price to open for the holidays. But yeah, that's about all I could really treat myself to this year outside of singles and so a few indie sets. But Yeah, I very much changed my habits since I first got into it heavy in 2022. I'm sorry, 2020.
Before we let you
Nice.
go, one more topic because I know you're very knowledgeable about this, both you guys, in fact. Let's talk about card grading. We got news recently that Nat Turner's company PSA has bought Beckett, and they consolidated their grading all into one. What are your thoughts on that? We're into
Well,
the
I actually, is that actually true? Because I read on someplace else that Beckett will be treated like a completely separate company.
but still owned by the same owners.
It'll be owned. It's much like, eBay owned PayPal and kept it separate from being, part of it's
But
eBay.
Well, it is true they own SGC as well, right? So
yeah.
they kept that as a separate entity. So I assume they might keep the Beckett branding.
Here's my
That's at least
here's
my
my thought
take.
on it. Here's my thought on that, by the way, is like most of these companies do, you to avoid a monopoly and to avoid the antitrust type stuff.
Sure.
It's we're going to go ahead and acquire this company. We're going to treat it as a separate company. Now, once the acquisition is made, you let time go by. All of a sudden, it just gets absorbed
Yeah.
by the main
That's
parent
just what I
companies
say.
like that.
That's a strategy, right?
Of course.
Yes, that is what I do see, unfortunately, or fortunately for the Beckett branding. They were kings at a time, but I just can't see it coming back with that kind of vigor it once had.
No, I don't think
I
so
do
either.
think it's just going to absorb into PSA at some point, and
And
even
PSA
where
requires it.
SGC has their own look and feel through those tuxedo slabs.
Sure.
I don't think Beckett slabs have anything to offer uniquely like they do.
No, I agree with you on that. And I just think that it's pretty much just, PSA with as much product as they have coming in and the backlog they have, they're just basically buying themselves graders.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the
yeah.
bodies, isn't it?
Or new facilities, or probably a lot of those things. Just the property itself. But it is interesting. It really does lend a landscape right now where it feels like it's becoming CGC versus the world.
And I love
Uh,
CGC. I love
oh, me
CGC.
too.
I love the fact that they have beautiful slabs. And I'm not a
Yeah.
I'm not a grader
Yes.
by any means, but the slabs are beautiful. I love that they have a bunch of people who are very uh, a lot of energy and they love wrestling.
They
And
do. They
that
do. I've heard that from the
always great.
customer service agents and other people, and it's very good to know that the company you're working with, at least some of the people there share your enthusiasm.
Yep. I love it. I love that part.
The Beckett share of the pie had dwindled quite a bit over these last few years, haven't they? Like they're more towards the bottom of the companies, are they
By a
not?
lot, yeah.
I like.
I don't follow gem rate every month, but when I do see the numbers, yeah, Beckett by far I think is on the lower end of things. CGC has made leaps and bounds in sports card grading and the things as well. I know in May I was just looking at some numbers earlier, and there's something like a little over 600% year over year for sports cards with them. So yeah, I do see it where we're going to see a lot of these PSA owned properties versus CGC a lot more, and I hear a lot of people talk about Tag as well, but
Yeah.
I'm less familiar with them, and they are, a lot more newer than the others. So it might take them some time, but people do speak highly of them though, who use them.
Very cool.
Tony, that's all I got. I wanted to say to you personally, Aaron, thank you very much for your support of what we do. You've always been
Oh, of
very,
course.
very, very kind to Tony and I. You've been very supportive. You've helped spread the word about all of our efforts, which is great. So I really wanted to let you know how much we appreciate that. Tony, anything else for Aaron before we call it a day?
Nah, I think I was right. I mean, not bad for going off script today, huh?
I'd
Well, we
say
didn't have
so,
we didn't really have
absolutely.
a script. It was sort of
That's what I'm
let's
saying.
hang out
Yeah.
with Aaron.
But Aaron, we got to get you out to the national one of these years, man. You got to come out and make it out there, and we got to
Yeah,
go
give
have
us for a few
dinner
days,
and drinks
definitely.
and just talk.
Missing that year with Atlantic City is definitely one of my biggest regrets in the hobby.
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
wish I had a more reliable vehicle that year because it would have been a fantastic opportunity to meet all you. But no, that is absolutely a goal in the back of my mind. soon as I can make those things line up, I would love to sit down with you guys in person.
Be great. Be a great time. Or if you're ever,
Absolutely.
or if you're ever in the Phoenix area, come out and visit us here in the store. I got a whole, I mean, I'm blurred out right now, but I've got display behind me full of cards now. I got a whole wall full of complete sets up here. I mean, I'd be happy to welcome you in here, man.
If I'm ever in Phoenix, that is a top priority of mine. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, I want to get down there as soon as it gets really, really cold up here, and then I'll be thinking, oh, let me go down to Arizona for a couple of nights just to see the new
Right,
deals,
right.
see what's going on. Now, what are you doing, Tony? You're walking around. Where's your phone? Like, is that on some sort of tripod, or like, how are you able to walk around?
It's called using these cool things called your hands.
You're holding it. Well, no,
I'm
it's
just
just
holding my
because you're
phone.
staying right in focus there. So I'm wondering, like, and as you're walking around, we're not losing that, which is
I'm mobile, baby. I'm mobile. I'm doing a lot of video content for the store, so I've trying to upgrade. Got the microphone going on right here. Got
Nice,
you know
nice.
doing all kinds of stuff.
Mr. TikTok over here.
Yeah, it's part of the business. As you gotta market, man. And the thing is, I'm getting one of the kids that I hired here because I got some employees now. He went to film school, so I'm learning some cool stuff from him and
Nice.
doing some fun stuff. And I'm actually, for a guy who spent the past 25 plus years, behind, the scenes doing contracts for talent and stuff like that. Now I'm a guy in the front of the damn camera, and I'm getting a little more too comfortable for it.
Yeah, well, the wrestlers are coming to you now, though, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah. So we just picked up. I got my January guest. I had someone who canceled for because WWE got involved. So they canceled, had to rescheduling, and I just picked up someone else. So we're going to have a nice guest
Nice.
coming in January.
Nice. Aaron, before we let you go, anything else you want to add?
Oh no, likewise. I'm very appreciative of you too. I mean, you guys have been holding down the wrestling card hobby for quite some time, and that's why I always love to tell people about you guys and your efforts. But
I appreciate it for
no,
sure.
I wish you guys all the best in all your endeavors, and I'm very happy to have run into you guys and the Brotherhood and the community of wrestling cards as a whole. And I appreciate you guys.
Well, Tony and I intend to do some interesting things this year. There's going to be more collector series. We'll carry on with our updates and stuff. We're looking forward to a new collectible series that we're going to be doing with Ben Woo Woo. That's going to get into more general. Um,
I can't wait to start doing that. It's gonna be
Uh,
fun.
that's going to be
Sounds
debuting
fun.
very very soon. So guys out there, stay tuned to WTCV, WTCT. You think I'd be able to say that this many years in? WTCTV. Um, Stay tuned to the site, and we'll have the content for you. And I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Happy New Year, and we'll see you guys all soon.
See you, man.